Okay, it looked like we're getting this in two part because the cameras start to go dim and dim and dim and dim, and then all of a sudden it just flipped and just went to shooting pictures instead of photoing. Now I don't know if it's gonna do it again, but it really wants to shut me up. I'm like, every time I get on this camera, it's some weird stuff happening. Music stopped when the word God comes out, and then all of a sudden, now here we go again, dropping my video during my filming and then at that point it was glitching, going down, dimmer, and it flipped over to the camera to taking pictures. So this is for all of those that don't have hope, all of those that don't believe that these things are going to happen. I've said it many times in my videos that we are connected. And we're connected by ley lines. And I mentioned this to another man about it, the same thing when I heard a well cry, because this is also a part of that dream as well. A part of that because just recently, not too long ago, I had a dream about in the deep hearing a well wailing, crying out. So that has a lot to do with what I experience. All right. So we're going to fast forward here from Satan's kingdom to, and during that time, I think it was like maybe 2021 or something around there, 2020, 2021, when I had that dream about being on a ship. And it's like more than once I've been in the heavens on a ship, you know. And then 2018, same thing. At this time, I wasn't in Satan's kingdom, but I was sleeping in my cousin's car too, on a ship at that time, and was also told that I was the ancestor of the Lyran family. But now I'm gonna skip ahead. Now here, this year in what was it, June? Yeah, June of this year. I've been having such a hard time when I no longer was working for the pastor, and I have been without work since June. And I'm still without work, and I had a dream this morning about that as well. Not that I would really do something like that, but it was weird. It was me in the nude and losing my mind, and the man I work for, the pastor, you know, they had something going on, function or something, and here I'm seeing some purple smoke bomb in some area, in a pool area, and that's something I did. I threw the smoke bomb or something like that, but I was nude in this you might as well call it a movie. But I was out of my mind, like biting my tongue, pulling pieces off my tongue, and then this other woman was telling me that how she had lost her job and she had been, you know, trying to find work. And is it just me that's having this really extreme hard time trying to find work, and we're all set here for a purpose because of the Holy Spirit, the I Am, want us focused on it versus being focused on the worldly things of bills, groceries, you know, daily life stuff, but then also being of the world, or being into, I don't watch TV. I spend a lot of time on YouTube watching rapture videos or some gospel stuff, or I'll watch something that have to do with cars because I know that's not going to warp my mind. Or I'll watch some children cartoons or something like that really won't warp my mind. It was a time I was watching Sesame Street. I was watching what is it, The Purple Dinosaur, because I didn't want my mind to be consumed with worldly things. So it's basically childlike behavior, which we all should have, and it's innocence. So in this dream this morning, I was literally losing my mind, like the thought of suicide and stuff like that. And I don't know if this is like happening to a lot of people, but I'm feeling like that because of a situation, putting myself in a situation of almost like being a felon, to where I can't find work. No matter how many applications I put in, doors are slammed in my face. I'm getting doors slammed left and right. But then I had a dream here recently where I had an oxygen tank, and I went to the doctor, and I had this, I would say around anywhere from 5 foot to 5.5 foot tank, yellow tank at that. And it was on a dolly, had wheels. And I went to this bar or club or whatever it was. And this is not a part of the story for him, but we're going to get to it in a minute. I'm just trying to get it down the line, like, so you can understand what I'm saying. But this was part of the dream last night because it kind of canted off from what he was speaking about, as so far as the ship, and so far as a cruise ship, and so far as Joshua talking about a cruise ship and how he heard the trumpet, but it sounded like a cruise ship. It's all going to tie in together, you'll see. But about the job situation, this is all going to tie in together, trust me. So about the job situation, and the I am seated that is really weighing on me, and it's really hurtful, and it's really hard for me because someone else made it bad for me, that now is to the point I can't fend for myself. So the only thing I can depend on and hope for and personally beg for is for this rapture to happen, because this is the end for me. Because if I can't take care of myself, nobody else can. You know, I have to be able to take care of myself. And this job working with the pastor was cash money, because I knew that this was going on my record. But even though I was innocent, this wretched place we call the United States have a tendency of, when you're innocent about something, they'll still keep it on you. They won't let you go. Once they got your claws in you, they won't release you. They won't erase what has already been put there. This is the problem with this country, is that once they got you hooked on something, they ain't letting you go. They're gonna drain you until you literally lie over in the grave. But so I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place, a place that I don't want to be. But the Holy Spirit showed me that by me and my other dream, by me sticking my hand in this hole and pulling out this child, and the child said, "Come with me. We can go to the holy city. We'll be safe there." This was me being pulled from wherever I am. You know, the holy city is the New Jerusalem. And the I am is the light of that holy city. So, to get back to it, this this dream that I had, I was biting my tongue out and just all kind of crazy stuff, and like I was just basically losing my mind because I could not find work, and it was just pitiful. It was hard. It was hard to see this dream this morning. But this happened right after 3 different dreams of the confirmation that I needed. I asked I am to show to me, and it showed me, and it directly links me and Rapture Ready Moon. So I'm gonna skip on to, I went to a friend's house to do applications, and this is the part where I was saying doors kept slamming in my face, but I'm gonna get back to this other dream that after the, well, I'm gonna get back to this dream where I had the tank. I had a yellow oxygen tank, and then next thing you know, inside this place they have like this, some kind of rooftop over a bar or over some kind of, I don't know, maybe ice box area or something like that, a freezer area or something. And there was some guys on top. They could have been like bar backs or whatever, but I noticed they had a yellow tank like mine, and then they had a shorter gray tank with a blue top or green top on it. It's like this metal round, like kind of missile almost, but it's an oxygen tank. So I looked and I was like, oh wow, they got a tank just like mine. So I looked back to the left, and then my tank was gone. At this point, I knew that was my tank that they had up there. And all of a sudden, I go over to the bartender, and as soon as I go to the bartender, I walked up at the same time. 2 different men walk up. And when I walked up to the bartender spoke to them, and I spoke to the bartender. So it was like simultaneous at the same time. So these men were getting upset because I didn't cut in front of them, but we walked up at the exact same time. So these men were getting in my face. So I had my hand in my pocket, and I said, you don't want what I got in my pocket. You trust me, you don't want it. You don't want this. You don't want it. And it was 2 men like right in my face barking at me. So then the bartender said, hey, hold on. What do you need? What do you need? I said, I was standing over there, I had my oxygen bottle with me, and I happened to look up and see the guys up there on top of top of this thing, maybe refrigerator, I'm not sure what it was, and I said, I noticed they had a tank just like mine. And then when I looked, my tank was gone. And I said, that's my tank. And I said to the bartender, I said, you do know how much oxygen costs, right? And then the bartender told me to go over to the buzzer and go to where the office is and ring the buzzer to talk to the manager. He said, why you at it? Talk to him about the job. At this point, I didn't understand the dream, but the Holy Spirit sent me a video the very next day, and it was about the walls of Jericho. And it was about how the people were marching around the walls of Jericho for 7 days, blowing their trumpets. And then you got some guards barking at them, talking about, oh, this is what your God have you doing. And they're marching and praying and blowing the trumpet. And they walked 7 more days. But they also had to do with a woman that was inside that was a prostitute. And this was the way she was feeding her family. And they told her to put a red scarf, in the window, so that way death doesn't come knocking at her door. So as this happens, the wall come tumbling down on the 14th day. So I understood the dream as being when the man told me to go press the buzzer and talk to manager, and while I'm at it, ask him about the job. At this point, this is the Holy Spirit knocking down a wall that I cannot climb. I cannot knock this wall down. And now the men that were confronting me at the bar was the exact same men that were at the walls. They were the guards at the walls of Jericho, which the man who took over Moses' spot was a warrior. He wanted to go and take the city, but the walls were too thick. They were thick enough that chariots can ride across the walls comfortably. But this was walls that I just could not knock down. I just couldn't knock those walls down. And that's what the Holy Spirit was saying to me, that everything I'm going through, it's not something I can control. I can't. Someone has already made my life bad already, to the point to where my life is like I'm a felon, but I'm not a felon. I have a record, but I don't have a record of a felon, but it's treated as like being a felon, but to the point to where I can't get a job. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's a wall that I cannot knock down. I have to depend on the Holy Spirit. So this is when I feel like this rapture has to happen. It is prophecy. It is what is supposed to happen. As bottom line, this is what it's supposed to be. So then I'm going to skip ahead now. I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes now. So, a time before I was doing both, but I would hear the number 808 quite a bit. And if you don't know what 808 is, it's for the islands of Hawaii. All the islands of Hawaii. So I heard this a day before, actually 2 days. I heard it twice, one in each time, each day. And I was like, okay, I'm the type, I take down numbers. It used to be, I do it now. I've been doing it now, but I'll put the numbers in my phone, all synchronicity. And then, because that's how the Holy Spirit works with me too, through synchronicity. The Holy Spirit works with me through everything. Demonic entities, whether it be a sign of someone the Holy Spirit would send to me that may have a demonic attachment, or the Holy Spirit would send someone that doesn't have a demonic attachment to me. There's a plethora of people that you come in contact with that you may not know, but they have something for you. They have something to tell you. You just never know. But anyway, so after this, I go to a friend's house to go use the computer. Beforehand, I talked to my roommate about working with the airport, and she's like, nah, and they're going to send you through all this and that and this and that. So I get to my friend's house to use a computer. So we go, and we go, and I talk to her about it in the beginning. So then as I talked to her about it, about working for the airport, cleaning planes, but also working on cruise lines to, do housekeeping in cruise lines. This was in June. I'm getting to the meat and potatoes now. So the next thing you know, we started looking at other, applications and stuff like that. We didn't even go anywhere near, but we were on Indeed. So I put in what I wanted. None of it, it didn't come up not one time, not one single time that I was there. And I was there for over 2 hours. And just as I finish up at 2 hours, I go to touch the door handle. And she said, let me check the computer, let me check and see if there's anything that pops up. So as I go to reach for the handle, she says, you know how we were talking about earlier about working for the airline and cruise line? She said, well, there's a Norwegian Cruise Line here that's hiring. I was like, huh? It flew over her head beginning when I first spoke about it, because of all the things you have to go through in order to government background check, all this other kind of stuff. And all of a sudden it popped up as soon as I touched the door handle. I was like, wait a minute. Norwegian Cruise Line, they only do Hawaii islands only. Now I just said, just before I said about the cruise line, about the job stuff, searching and stuff online, I said twice I've heard 808 just on videos, just listening and hearing videos, and even on the TV I heard 808. No, I heard Hawaii and all this other kind of stuff. In a movie, someone's talking about Hawaii, and I'm seeing a movie done in Hawaii. I'm seeing all of this, and all of a sudden I go, Norwegian Cruise Line. It's like, wow. So then I do the application. We do, do the application, and then I come home on that same day after 2 hours, and my best friend is watching a movie, and I heard the word Hawaii. It's like, wow. So then I contacted, left this guy a message on his thing, and I left Nikki a message. I said, just something you might want to hear. You might want to hear this. And I said something about, and then in one of my other videos, I spoke about how I saw a rainbow in the midst of the storm. Not a stitch of sun in sight, but you can see the rainbow, and the rainbow is under the clouds, not above it, not going through it, under it during a storm. At first it was hailing, then it was hailing and thundering and lightning, and then all of a sudden there came a vortex around me, and I said to the lightning to strike closer, and a lightning, and there came a vortex. All the wind was going around me. Like I couldn't feel no wind going by my ears or nothing. I couldn't hear any wind. It was silent. All of a sudden the wind struck closer right up above this apartment that I'm in, right up above my head. Clearly I can hear it. And then the wind started blowing again after the lightning strikes, and I heard it clearly. So then I walked to the other side, because there's like a walkway and a hallway where I live, and it's like 2 apartments, mine and another one. And I go to the other side is one part, and then I go to this side is another part. So as I walk over to the other side, I look, and I'm looking at this other entryway going like out to the grass, and then there's an entryway to where the sidewalk goes out. So when I go to where the grass is, I stand there for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I walk over to the sidewalk side where you can go out the little entry, and all of a sudden the winds start blowing this direction toward people's patio, and all of a sudden I look up and I see the rainbow in the midst of the storm, thunder and lightning coming down, cats and dogs, and I'm like, wow. So then when I heard him last night talking about the rainbow and jewels and crystal and all these different colors, I was like, and the rainbow up over the throne, or if it was the Jerusalem, I'm not sure, but I knew it was something about the rainbow and about the brides being rainbowed with different, adorned with different crystals and stones. This is when I was like, oh yeah, this is connecting, right? This is definitely connecting. So I had a dream not too long ago that I stepped up on a sailboat and I sailed away. And then I started having visions. I made this amulet myself. The day I made it, it was like, I would say 3-4 days, maybe possibly a week after I made this. I was in the kitchen. Now, mind you, this is now months have already passed. I think this was like August. I want to say it was around August when I saw this vision. I had a huge frontal lobe vision. June, July, August, September. I'm gonna say it was September when I saw this, when I had this vision. It was like the first week of September when I had this vision. I'm standing at the stove cooking. And I hadn't heard back from Norwegian Cruise at all. I hadn't heard back from them. I did the interview and everything. Matter of fact, the next day after I finished, the following week after I finished the application, I think I did the application on that Friday, and by Monday or Tuesday I was doing the interview. So around September, I'm standing at the stove. I think like the first week of September, I'm standing at the stove and I'm cooking something to eat, and all of a sudden I get this frontal lobe vision, like boom, like hit me right in my mind's eye. I mean, hit me hard. Now, when I went to the friend I went to go use the computer and do for the application, she comes to me and she says, well, she didn't come to me. I actually saw in my vision that I was at her house. No, actually, I'll take that back. I saw the vision of her. I think she was talking to me in person, but I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive. She called me and she says to me, did you not see this email from Norwegian Cruise Line that they hired you? I was running around frantic. I was like, man, how am I gonna get this money, to pay for these classes to be able to work offshore? Because I have no money, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, maybe I could get a credit card, and pay this stuff to have it done. But I saw in my mind's eye that she was the one that was going to give me the money to be able to take the classes. And then once I started working, I was going to give her the money back. Well, then before that, after doing the application, before I had this frontal vision, I had another vision that this place called Aura Wellness Center that I would have been doing healing work at. And I did do a couple times healing work, but it was like I saw me going down the street and I see the bright sun, golden sun, and the vision hit me at that time. But at the time I'm here in this house, and I see me driving down the street, golden light, and I see myself telling this woman that I won't be working with her, and that I have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now, this is after I've done the application and everything for Norwegian Cruise Line. This happened after this frontal lobe vision. I'm like, man. And then I started seeing visions of me on the boat during the day. Actually, I saw my friend in a vision taking me to the airport to go take the classes, because these people are paying for it. They say they pay for everything. You know, they pay for your hotel, they pay for everything, they pay for your food. So you go take these classes and do all this other kind of stuff. I saw in my vision me sitting on this like bench or whatever that's there, like cement bench, and I have these black shoes on, and I have a like silver swim cap on. I see myself taking a class, and then I had another vision that my roommate would take me to the airport, and at this point I would be headed to Hawaii, and then she would see me talking to people there, you know, at the airport. So she's like, how do you know them? How do you know them? And I'm like, you know, these are the people that were in my class. And I saw a sign of jealousy because I had made new friends. I saw in my vision, I'm getting on the boat in Hawaii to go start work. I seen in my vision me being on the boat doing Qigong, or Fugong, if you want to call it that. Well, no, Qigong actually. At night, I seen in my vision me on the boat pushing a cart, like a work cart, you know, for the on the deck. You know, I'm on the deck and I'm pushing a cart, and as I'm pushing this cart, you know, I'm in the hallways of the deck, and then I am at night. I see myself doing Qigong on the deck, like in the front of the ship. And then I would see myself in a vision where I'm trying to figure out where am I gonna eat? Where am I gonna eat? Because to fit my diet, because my diet is very minimal, and I don't eat very much. I eat very, very little. And then during the daytime, the sun is so bright, and I have this box. Is called a prosperity box, and I'm on the ship, and I have it open, and I'm looking at it and on the ship. I have this in my hands. The vision I'm having in my mind's eye. And then I see you know, me in the room and roommates, like two other people. I saw this in my vision. So at this point, it's like, man, when I heard him mention Norwegian cruise, this is no accident. This is no accident. This is because I was going to pass this video up, but then he has two videos that has like he has the same shirt on, he has the same cap, and I'm like, man. So when I saw Norwegian cruise, I mean, what is the chances? What are the chances? And then he mentioned the rainbow. What are the chances? What are the chances? And I asked the Holy Spirit, confirm it for me. 3 dreams was like confirming, yes. I can't exactly say what the dreams were because I don't remember, but I do literally remember that they were literally saying yes. The I am was saying, yes, this is true. This is connected. These dreams connect to each other. So when you talk about the ship, the rapture and stuff like that, yeah, this is going to happen. This is definitely going to happen. Now, about this, I think I'll probably save that for later. The prosperity box. So I'm thinking, is there something else? I know I keep hearing about now today I heard about the calendar of the Essenes calendar. And this lady was mentioning something about November. So the Holy Spirit sometimes speaks to me through fortunes too. Because I asked the Holy Spirit, I asked the I Am, if it's really trying to tell me what I think it's trying to tell me. And it was about the Book of Seven Seals and about the Lion of Judah. I said, if it's really trying to tell me what I think it's trying to tell me, I said, I need you to prove it to me. And within 14 days, I received a fortune, and this fortune said, where is it? Your dreams will guide you to an important revelation. And then 5 months later, I get another fortune cookie, and it says, your most important dream will come true. No, not your most important, I'm sorry. What does it say? It said your most memorable dream, your most memorable dream will come true. This was 5 months after I got this fortune cookie. What are the chances going back to back about dreams? So then I go to, not too long ago, here recently, to another restaurant, Chinese restaurant, and I got some dream about love. And I was like, yeah, I don't want that one either. So I asked the lady to bring me some more fortune cookies because I knew I was getting messages. And I didn't like any of the other ones I got either that she brought me. So something just said, stick your hand in the jar and grab a fortune. So I stuck my hand in the jar and I grabbed a fortune. And this woman that I was watching today, she was talking about the calendar of the Essenes. And she mentioned something about November. Put this up so you can see it. Try to get it to focus. See if it'll focus. Doesn't look like it wants to focus. So let me tell you what it says. It says November is a time for a new beginning. November is a time for a new beginning. So I'm going to leave this here. Whatever happens is going to happen. Whenever the I Am decides it is ready to kick things off, it's going to happen. And there's nothing anyone or anything can do about it. No demonic realm, no governments, no one will be able to stop it. So if you doubt about the rapture, just gave you confirmation that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So whether you want to believe it or not, I had some person telling me, oh, the rapture's not going to happen. You keep thinking that. That's how you feel. You keep thinking that. You're going to be the one that's caught with your pants at your ankles. You just keep thinking what you're thinking. I know what I'm seeing. I've seen myself in the heavens in a vision recently with this hovered up in front of me, and my arms are spread out, and the earth is beside me. I've seen me walking through timelines with this thing in the visions. I can't literally show what it is because I'm not supposed to. It's not time yet. But I literally see myself walking through timelines with this thing. My staff, the staff I did have, I saw myself in the sky pulling lightning out of the clouds into the staff. And literally, when people would go behind me and touch my metal cup, they would get shocked. When they would touch the staff, they would get electrocuted. So you can't tell me what is not going to happen and what's not going to be. I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to be. And I've seen myself in the heavenly realm. And if you don't believe me, I got some pictures on here I showed already on my videos. Look at them. You'll see. I explained one video and it shows the 3 pictures that are there of seeing chaos happening upon the earth. And the earth is behind me. And I see like 4 or 3 hurricanes. I think it's 4 hurricanes. Massive. Up over the earth. Within the earth's atmosphere, but massive hurricanes. I see myself in the heavens. And the earth is behind me. So you can't, and these are visions. They're not dreams. These are visions. These are frontal lobe visions, just like I had the vision of frontal lobe vision of the universe. That's the only drawing I didn't draw. That is the only one I didn't draw, which was the universe. And that was a massive frontal lobe vision. And I'm looking at this like, who in the world would want to leave such beauty to come here on this earth? Because it was just so beautiful what I saw. But I'm going to leave this here. I hope that I answered your question. Rapture, Ready Moon. Nikki, I hope I answered your question. From New York. Jamaican woman, I hope I answered your question. Joshua, I hope I answered your question. And everyone else that has a question about it, or quiz about it, or wondering about it, this is going to happen. At the time, I'm not sure. But I'm going to tell you this. It is last call. In November, a time to remember. Learn to love yourself. Learn to love each other like you love yourself. Learn to forgive and let live and let go. For this is your salvation. For if you do not do these things, you will not catch that boat. You will not catch that ride. You have to learn how to forgive. You have to learn how to let go. You have to learn how to forgive yourself as much as you learn how to forgive someone else. So be encouraging. Stay optimistic. Keep your eyes on the skies, because that is your prize. Keeping your eyes on the skies. And be watchful. Be mindful. And stay aware. Don't lose faith. Hold on. The time is near. I know it's near because I was called up from this room, this very room, during a lightning storm. And someone pointed, and the person that was next to me, I don't know who it was, it could have been an angel, I'm not sure, but it pointed out toward the storm. That's why I know it's something bad is going to happen. Something is bad is going to happen. And I was told to have faith and to hold on. And to trust. So I'm going to leave it here until the Holy Spirit speaks to me next time. The one out.